Jonathan Waita is the program manager at Practical Action Kenya, and Josephine Abongo is the communications and marketing officer in the same organization. Good morning, Jonathan and Josephine.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to Kenya's biggest conversation. We call this the hot seat of the situation room. How does it feel, Jonathan?
It's looking good.
You're used to talking about cooking, so for you this is, it's all about clean cooking.
Yeah.
The heat of cleaning, of cooking. You'll tell us all about Practical Action Kenya and what you do and how you then work on accelerating clean cooking. But let's welcome you to the conversation with the day's proverb.
Yes, our proverbs for today and tomorrow up to Friday comes from the island republic of Mauritius.
Okay. Jonathan, Josephine, listen to the proverb. We want to hear your interpretation of that proverb.
Okay. Good morning, all.
Wait for the proverb.
Yeah, my name is Jonathan.
Wait for the proverb. Mm-hmm.
After the proverb, Jonathan, then you can tell people who you are, where you come from, and why you're here.
And you'll give us the interpretation, how you interpret this proverb.
Yes, and you will not be left out of it. Okay? Rulers are like hills. When darkness falls, they all speak alike.
Rulers are like hills. When darkness falls, they all speak alike. Jonathan, how do you interpret this proverb? What do you think these people are telling us?
Rulers are?
Like hills. When darkness falls, they all speak alike.
When you talk of rulers like hills, I think I would interpret it like rulers are actually on top where everybody can see them. And when you say that when darkness falls, they speak alike, I think that is now behind the scene. They speak alike or same language. That's what I can say. That's my interpretation for that. Yeah.
Josephine, what is yours?
Okay, I also think the same. Rulers are maybe the leaders, they are on top. And then when darkness comes is when they are now together. They walk together, they talk together, they do the same thing.
So all rulers are the same?
Yeah.
At night?
Yeah, most definitely they are together.
At night, they're all the same.
Yeah.
During the day, they may look different. This one is looking like,
They may even speak different.
They may even try to speak different. But
when night falls,
They are together.
same.
Same. Okay. So, Jonathan, tell us, what is Practical Action?
Practical Action is a development organization that helps people to find solution for the most toughest problems. And this problem are either caused by a catastrophic climate change or gender inequalities. Practical Action work with communities to develop ingenious, lasting, and locally owned solutions. And this organization is headquartered in UK, and we have presence in Africa, Latin America, and Asia. Here in Kenya, here in Africa, we are in Kenya, and a few other countries like Senegal, Rwanda, Sudan, Zimbabwe, where we are implementing different programs. And one of the programs that we do is in agriculture, where we believe that we do agriculture that works for the people. Here in Kenya, we are doing quite a number of programs in Western Kenya and Nyanza. So we are running a very big program there, which is funded by MasterCard Foundation. We also had another one that just completed this last December, which was also in Kisumu and Homa Bay County. Again, also other programs that we do on WASH, that is water sanitation, hygiene and sanitation, where we've done quite a lot in making the cities that we live in a better place where our people can live well. Other programs that we do in resilient, that's for example, we have programs in Lodwar where we are doing a lot of water provision for the people who live there, and we are trying to help them with water for domestic and also for their livestock. Then last but not the least is the energy, where now the program that I'm working on is Zagat. And here we say that we do energy that transforms the community. So at this organization, I think we are running quite a number of programs that are cutting across biomass use. We're also doing e-cooking, where we are advocating a use of electricity and many others. So that, in a nutshell, that is all practical action is. But I can still talk about the project. The project that I'm running is funded by GIZ, and it's happening in Kenya and Senegal right now. And here in Kenya, practical action is given 4 counties to do their to run this project. That is Nakuru, Nyandarua, Baringo, and Kericho, where we are working with the entrepreneurs who are working on the improved cook stoves. And what we are trying to do is to empower their capacities to become better ICS distributors to the rural area, where we feel that a lot of people are actually not able to get these solutions at their localities. Then again, also doing a lot in terms of awareness creation, where we are working with the county government and other partners to make sure that people get to know the benefits of using this kind of cook stoves. Then also trying to do a few things that touch on policies, and we are working with some county governments to come up with what we call county energy plans, so that they can be able to provide this kind of services to their people. Yep.
Okay. I want to come to you, Josephine. When you talk about improved cook stoves, and this is then you'll tell us how you're working with the suppliers in these 4 counties. What is an improved cook stove?
Okay, thank you. Improved cook stove is a cook stove whereby we don't use the normal cook stove that we are used to using in the past. Okay, it's improved in a way that it's cooked faster than the one we used to use before. It also saves us energy and also use less fuel.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what is the stove that we consider normal? What is it that it was made of? How did we use it? And why did we think it needed improvement?
Okay, the liners that were used in the past are not the ones we are using in the improved cook stove.
Okay.
The ones we are calling the improved are improved in a way that they conserve the heat. So when you are cooking, it doesn't lose a lot of heat. Yeah.
Can I
Yes, please.
So the normal cooking solutions are like the 3-stone that we've used for years. So, and when we are talking improved, in fact, in our tests, we base as the 3-stone as the baseline test. So, like if you come to our programs, you will find that the ICS that we are using right now for firewood saves up to 40%, at least 40% of compared to the 3-stone. So meaning that if a family adopts the kind of stoves that we are using, you're going to save up to 40% of the cost that we've been using. When we look at charcoal, we are taking the baseline stove as the KCJ. KCJ is called Kenya Ceramic Jiko, and the Kenya Ceramic Jiko is a common stove that we see in the market. That one, the Mabati, Jiko that has a clay lining. Yeah. So that is now the baseline that we use. And for the stoves that we are promoting right now, they conserve at least 30% and above. So when we talk of improved, I think we look at a lot of things. One is the indoor pollution, so the smoke is reduced. Number 2 is the cost of fuels that we use. So generally you find that if you transit from the normal that we're talking about, you also end up saving a lot of money on the fuels. Hence also save the trees, because that means if you use lesser firewood, then less trees are actually being cut. Then there is also now the other. I think I talked about the benefit on the cost, benefit on health, and also benefit on saving the trees. Yeah.
When you say conserving energy, the assumption is whatever we refer to as a traditional cooking stove dissipated a lot of energy. How do you measure this? How do I know that this particular stove is not conserving energy and this one is serving energy? What is it that announces? How is this efficiency manifested?
Well, like the stoves that we are promoting right now, they have what we call a liner, which is built in the metal casing.
What is it made of?
The liner is made of a special clay that you can only get it on some ports in Kenya. So what GZ has done is that they've gone around the whole country and they've tested a number of areas, and you can only find this kind of soil on specific areas, not everywhere. And when that is done and fired, you realize that, or you will see that it conserves a lot of energy, because it doesn't lose a lot of energy when it's being used. Yeah.
Which means when you put makaa into this stove, you do not need to keep adding makaa until you boil your githeri.
Yes, actually,
that's basically what we are, like a basic way of testing.
Yeah, even when you are done with cooking, the liner that is burnt to red hot can actually continue warming the food, or you can even use that to boil water for taking bath.
So the clay actually now becomes hot, yes, and becomes part of,
yes,
the source of energy.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So how long does it last? One would imagine that as you use it wear and tear, that over time then it starts to, starts to wear and tear. So how long can you use it before you have to now then get another one?
So far, from our experience, we've seen most of the stoves last up to 5 years. And we've done a lot of comparison with some of the ICS that are imported, and some have actually gone up to 2 years. Then when they break, you have nowhere where you can go for repairs. So you either throw it away. But in our case, it can last for around 5 years. Then when maybe something happens, we can still come back and we do repairs for that.
So this is for the charcoal cook stove.
Both charcoal cook stove and the firewood.
And the firewood one.
Yes.
See, the firewood one, you told us what we are dealing with is we are comparing this to the 3 stones. Those 3 stones, you go and get the 3 stones, blocks, put them together in a certain way, and you use. If you want to transport that thing, you just transport the 3 stones and move with it. Now, this solution, the improved cook stove, that is a solution for this. Is it a mobile one? Do you come and build it in the kitchen? How is it? What is it?
We have 2 types. One is portable, the ones that you can move around with, because we use what we call clads, or the metal casing, where you can build in that. Then when you do that, that one can be moved from one corner of the house to the other, or maybe you can transport it where you want. And we also have another one that we build in a permanent house, where you can have as many, we call them doors. So you can install like 3 or 4, depending on the way you want. And you can even put 2, which can be using just one door of firewood, such that when you are using the first one, the same firewood that you are using can use still the next one. So, and this is coming as a result of a lot of innovations that we are having from our own, because it's local solution, and we are trying to guide the entrepreneurs who are working with to innovate and come up with more new things when it comes to this.
So who's using these stoves? Who is using these stoves, and where are they being used?
They are used by households, and households in both urban and rural. and mostly like the installed one that is inbuilt is mostly used in the rural areas, because that's where we've seen a lot of people maybe like doing permanent stops, unlike it is in town. But in town they use the affordable because they actually move from one area to another. Maybe you move from an area, one house to another. So that's why now a lot of that is being used in town.
Okay. So these 4 counties that you're working in, Nakuru, Nyandarua, Baringo, and Kericho, you said Practical Action is working with local suppliers of these improved cook stoves. Who are these local suppliers? How do you identify them? Is there anything special about one supplier that's against another?
Well, I think when this project was starting, we did market scoping. And through this market scoping exercise, we were able to identify where these people were. So the first group that we took were entrepreneurs who were in this business for more than 6 months. And we were able to profile them and see whether there are people whose capacity could be improved. Then we recruited the first number of around 190. Then later on we went back to the same area again, and also now went back to get those who are not doing this kind of business but had interest, because I think we want to compare those who are doing and those who had interest and started, to see in terms of growth and how they peak in terms of growing the business is different. So at the end of the day, when the project is coming to an end, we'll be able now to weigh those who are in the business and those showed interest. Because again, also you realize that I think it's African, that there are those who come behind and do very good. Because you can't tell them information, they keep quiet with it and don't start. And maybe those who started, they don't see a lot of change when you come to bringing in new ideas to do their businesses. Yeah.
We'll talk more about this and what kind of support you offer them, what kind of success stories we're seeing, what's the impact in the community, because that's the most important thing. That's the whole reason why you've taken up this project. You'll tell us all about that. It's 7:30. Kenya's biggest conversation is talking about accelerating access to clean cooking in Kenya. We are joined by Jonathan Waita, who's a program manager at Practical Action Kenya, and Josephine Abongo is the communications and marketing officer in the same institution. They've been in the country for many years. They're running a project on improved cooking stoves in those counties. Of course, it's countrywide, but this particular project is focusing on these 4 counties. We want to get more about that. So, Jonathan, the Practical Action is working in these 4 counties, supporting entrepreneurs, like you're saying. You do some work, you identified those that have potential, and you're supporting them so that then they can scale and benefit more people, so that more people can have access to these improved cook stoves. Okay. These 4 counties, Nakuru, Nyandarua, Baringo, Kericho. Why? Why these particular counties?
One, I think I need to state that this project is happening countrywide, and there are other partners who are in the other counties. Like, for example, when GIZ came up with this project, it picked other implementing organizations, and they were given different areas. Like, for example, we have Masicop. They used to be Energy for Impact, so they are doing in Taita Taveta, Kilifi, Mombasa, and the other county in Mombasa, Kwale. Those are 4 counties. As we are in 4 counties, we also have we are doing partly Kericho, because KTDA is also implementing there on the tea estates. They are also doing that in Nyeri, where the areas where there is tea. We also have Dedan Kimathi University, who are actually doing a lot of stove testing and also innovations in terms of improving the stoves that we use. We also have Strathmore Business School, who are also taking part on the area of developing the curriculums for business development, which we use to train our entrepreneurs. Then there is GIZ, who is also taking a bigger part of this country. They are in all over Nyanza, Western Kenya. They're also in Central and lower part of Eastern. So the program is taking place in the
It's a
country,
countrywide
but
program.
each partner is given a designated area to work in. Yeah.
Okay. How many implementing entrepreneurs do you have in these 4 counties? How many are you working with presently?
Currently, I'm working with 303 men and women.
303.
Yes. Where we have around 189 women and then the balance men, because the requirement for this project was to take 60% women and youth, then the rest we allocate for men. Yeah, because we believe that women bear the most impact when it comes to looking for fuel, and that is why we give them a bigger share in terms of supporting them. And when we talk about the rural economies, you again also realize that women are the majority of the people who live behind because of their parental duties. They are left in the rural maybe to take care of children and maybe look after the property that the husband has gathered. Then the husband goes to town. So you find that because the project target a lot of people in the rural, then we find that women are the most ideal people to work with and youth. Yeah.
Okay. So for you, Josephine, just tell us. So now now we're looking at it from practical experience of this clean energy stove. What difference have you seen from when folks used it before? And I can assume that you use it and sell it as well.
Yes.
Okay. So what difference have you seen from what people used to use before and then now that they use this clean energy source?
The difference is that what I've experienced is that the Jiko is easy to use, and it also help in the conservation of our environment. When you use Jikos, which are energy saving, you'll be able to, it helps you cook faster. Yeah.
Okay.
As an entrepreneur, Josephine, where are you based?
I'm based in Nakuru.
And what made you get into this business?
Okay, I can say that I was urged by practical action to get into the business, because initially I was doing almost the same kind of business, but I was not selling the energy saving Jikos. I was dealing with the normal KCJs, as he has explained. But after partnering with the practical action, they introduced me or us to be selling the improved cooked stove. Yeah.
How would you say is the uptake? Since this is now business and you are a business person, do your customers like it? The number of people who are buying the stoves increasing?
I can say we have seen a very big change since we started with practical action. For sure, when we started, I can say a few people knew about the stove.
Okay.
But as we kept on going into market, maybe doing market storms and road shows, and even visiting like institutions, introducing the stoves, I can say a lot of people are now coming for the Jiko, and those who have used it can even testify to others, tell them the benefits that they are getting when using the Jikos. Yeah, so we find it even easy for us to sell when you are selling something that is already known in the market. Unlike initially when we started, nobody, I can say a few, only knew about the Jiko. Yeah.
Now this is
Interestingly,
yes.
When we came to Nakuru, she was doing KCJ. We introduced her to this new solution, and she started from scratch. Right now, I can report from our record, she's doing 2,000 units per month. So when you look at that in terms of impact and the transformation, I think the organization, through its program, has transformed her into a new way of doing business, because she can confirm that she's earning more income that is doing a lot in our family. And that one we are seeing it with other entrepreneurs who also doing as much as she's doing, where now people can confirm that their social life is changing, and they are able to take children to school through this kind of business.
I am looking at this enterprise, and I'm looking at the focus seems to be a unit for an individual, for a family. And I'm looking at the competition from a business perspective. LPG gas, you can have similar units, small, they're getting even smaller, sizable. But then there is now for a huger consumption. Let's take, for instance, do you people have this sort of contraption that one can use, say, in a school? Because if it is energy saving, it means it'll be efficient and it will be cost efficient. So if you're talking about institutions using it or using that technology, it would be beneficial to them.
Yeah, that's a very good concern, and I can tell you, as a program, we have looked into that. And right now, I think I wish I carried some samples that we've done. If you go to some institutions, we've done a very good job. We are installing for institutions, because we believe that, like, there is one that we did for Kabaranet School for the Blind. This was done by one of our entrepreneurs. He was given a contract by a donor who wanted that school to do improvement on their cooking stoves, and he did a very good job. Actually, after this, I'll show the photos, and you love to see the kind of innovation that we are doing, because we believe that one, compared to the boilers that are being used by institutions, actually saves a lot of firewood. Because the boilers is just a metal, and when you eat it, I think it loses a lot of heat through the metal. But this one, the heat is contained, and you're likely to use very few fuel. Then we've started a program where we want to build, to enhance building for the community. And we realized that there was a weakness with building and giving a quality installation. And what we've started, we have partnered with the vocational training centers in the 4 counties. Already now we have profiled 50 of them. And there are those that we've started with, like if you go to Mogocho, vocational and training college, we've done them a very good, a nice ICS installation, and we use that one as a case for training their trainees, so that from there they can start building within the communities where they come from. We believe this is something that is going to provide income for the trainees who are in the school, because when we were sharing with the management, they told us that these trainees experience a lot of problems in terms of getting money for their own pocket money, and also paying for their fees. Now, when we introduced this, they are able now to go do some work during vacation, and when they are coming back, they can be able to pay for their fees and also have money for their pocket money. So it's happening all over. We've also done some for the hotels. I can share another one that we did for a hotel in Naivasha, with a very nice grill for roasting
barbecue.
meat. Yeah, so a very nice one. And again, also we are trying to innovate to see how we can also come in there's these cookers that does
Baking.
Yeah, for baking.
The oven.
So yeah, we are trying to innovate on that, and someone is running with that, and that is why we have this institution like Dekut and other sort more coming in, so that we can work with them to see that at the end of the day we come up with innovations that goes into the community and save the community from using a lot of fuel. Yeah,
It's a big thing. Looking at Josephine is selling many units per month. Josephine, are you selling to other resellers, or are you selling to individual people who now go to use it at home? Or what's your mix? I'm sure there are some people maybe who come and buy 10 or so, then they go and sell in their local shops?
Yes, I sell to both
Mm-hmm.
individual and those who are also reselling. Yeah.
And where do you get your cooks from? Your cook stores from?
From Kisumu.
Okay.
I get them from Kisumu, transport them to Nakuru, where I have the distribution center. So from there I can easily distribute to Nyandarua, Kericho, and the surroundings.
How is that chain like, Jonathan? The supply chain from the manufacturer, are there specific manufacturers that you work with that are using this specific clay that then you come down all the way in the supply chain up to last mile where Josephine is?
There is a very well elaborate supply chain. One, we start with the producers, and these producers most of them are actually under GIZ programs. And why we look at producers under GIZ program is because we want first certification to be done at the source. So when GIZ work with these producers, they show them how to do the best quality. Then they also certify that whoever that our entrepreneurs are buying from are actually certified producers. If you start by getting a certified product, then at the end of the day it means that the end product is also certified. Then from there we've linked our entrepreneurs with producers in Kisumu, in Siaya, in Kakamega, and where they are able now to buy the products, and the products are transported to Nakuru and another area where we are working in. So that now from there, if they are not entrepreneurs that we're working with are not wholesalers like the others will do what we call value addition. And value addition in this case is that you'll get a liner and then you clad or you put it in the metal casing so that you make it a complete ICS. And by doing that, a complete ICS will fetch a lot of money than just selling the liner. And that is now what is normally happening with most of the entrepreneurs we are working with, who are not wholesalers like Yep.
Okay. I'm interested, Josephine. People who buy from you, who come back, what do they tell you about how they've been able to use the cooker?
No, the consumers.
Yes.
Okay, most of them have really appreciated having the jikos because for sure most of them have testified that they've really seen the benefits of using the jiko. And also, as Jonathan has said, that I've made a very big step in selling the jikos. It's through my customers who are coming. They also recommend the jiko to others, telling us that they love it.
Yeah. Okay. So then, do you ever have a challenge of, okay, so they want, but maybe I'm waiting for some to come in terms of production, or then do you always have them available?
Okay, I used to have that problem, but to curb it, I had to start a production center in Kisumu. So at least I can produce a number of them, and when I run out of them, I take it from another producer. So I think the problem I've sorted.
Okay, so this is interesting. So you're able to produce them as well as sell them. So you're not waiting for them to come from somebody else for you to then sell.
Yes.
So there's a production element for you as well.
Yes.
So do you have staff you oversee? What happens? Or do you then say, this person, Charles, is in this place, produce another 1,000 for me? Or are you then involved in that process of production?
I am involved. Yeah, in Kisumu I have employees who are doing that on a daily basis, and in my distribution center also in Nakuru I also have people helping me doing that. Yeah.
Now, isn't this a lovely story? So you actually have a production line, and then you have a distribution network. Okay, now from a distribution network, have you grown other people who then also distribute?
Pardon?
Okay, you distribute.
Yes.
You would sell more if there were people elsewhere, let's say you said Nyandarua or Kalau, let's say for instance, who instead of buying for themselves also buy and then distribute.
Yes.
Do you have such a network?
Yes.
You do?
Okay. I told you initially that I have a production center in Kisumu.
Yes, you do.
And when I transport them and stock them in Nakuru, the price is now different from when you have the products from Kisumu.
Okay. Yeah.
So I have two different prices. If you have if you maybe purchase from Kisumu, you have a different price.
Okay. So you're treating, these are two different businesses.
Yes.
There is the production. And then there is the retail. From your production outfit, you have, it's not only the Kisumu shop that buys from, the Nakuru shop that buys from Kisumu.
Yes.
There are other distributors who also go to Kisumu, the production facility, and buy.
Yes.
All right. So you have a network of other people who buy from the production facility. How many are you producing in your Kisumu plant per month?
Like I can say, like I personally, from my kiln,
Yes.
around 2,500
Every month.
Yeah.
How long does it take to make one? Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. During rainy season, we have a lot of challenge because it takes a lot of time to dries up. But during maybe dry season, it's very easy because they dries up very fast. Yeah. So let's say that in a week, we can do like more than 500.
More than 500 in a week.
In a week. Yeah.
Is Kisumu one of the places where the good clay is found?
Yes.
So it's one of those places.
Yes.
In Nyahera.
Yes.
So you also have people that you buy from that supply you the clay.
Yes.
There's a network like that.
There's a network.
How do you work with those ones in terms of environmental issues? Because you are dealing with the environment.
Yes.
How do you work with those people who are then harvesting the soil to bring to you? Do you ensure that they are certified? Do you ensure that they are not degrading the environment? And when they bring to you, do you have anything that you're testing to make sure that hawajapitia mahali wakaongezea mchanga ingine kujaza gunia?
Okay, that's a challenge to my business because when they bring the soil to us, we don't test them. So when you make the products, the end product will tell you whether the soil was good or not.
Goodness. By then it's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You either lose or gain. When the soil is good, you'll have a good product.
What experience have you had with that?
Okay, to some extent, it drags you down because imagine going the whole process, the end product in a fail. Yeah.
Comes to the question that Paul J is asking online: is Josephine meeting the demand, and what constraints is she facing with meeting that demand?
Currently, I can say we are meeting the demand, but the constraints are the ones we've talked about, like not knowing whether the soil is the right one or not the right one. The other challenge is the transportation means. The product is bulky. So you have to use a lot of money transporting them from Kisumu to where I stock them. Yeah.
How much is it, a cook stove, by the way? How much does it cost to
a
purchase?
Complete one or the liner?
Well, so
the
complete one. I want to take it home. When I put it, I buy it, put it in the house, I can use it.
Okay, we have from our prices range from 800 to 1,500.
What's the 800 and what's the 1,500 one? Are we talking about now
depending on size? Yeah.
Oh, the size of it.
Yeah.
So it's different. So what size is a household using, for example, whereby they're 5 people?
Okay, the household one is the ones I've explained.
Yeah.
Ranging from 800 to 1,500.
Okay.
And then we have the institutional ones.
Yes.
The ones we permanently install. goes up to maybe the installation will even take up to 70,000, depending on the stoves that you want to install.
Okay, so you're selling about 2,500 per month, like you said, or rather, so are you producing 2,500 or are you selling 2,500 per month?
That is what I sell.
You sell 2,500 per month.
Yeah.
What's the majority of the ones that you sell? Are you selling more for household or are you selling more for institution?
For the household.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And so if we were to move this product from Kisumu to Nakuru, because you talked about the fact that it's more expensive to go to Nakuru, obviously because of transport, what difference are we looking at then in terms of cost or price of the cook stove?
I've not got the new clearly.
Okay, so it's in Kisumu, it costs 800 shillings, right? For the household. In Nakuru, the same thing. How much would it cost?
No, the stove.
Yes.
I'm not transporting
said-
the stoves.
Oh,
From
you're transporting
Kisumu,
the
I
liner.
transport the liners,
The clay.
the clay.
Clay made.
I
Yeah.
see.
So if you're selling the liner on its own, how much does that cost?
The liners range from 450 to, we have the one that goes for the bigger one, goes for 2,500.
Okay, so Josephine, if I'm in Nakuru and I want this thing and you're going to send it to me, who's going to put it together for me in Nakuru?
I can
Or is
do
it easy for me to do? But I'm in Nakuru and you're in Kisumu, Josephine.
No,
How
she
will
has
you-
two.
Or you have...
She has
There's
to.
a shop in Nakuru.
Okay,
And
so I can
manufacturing
go
plant.
and pick it up.
Yeah.
But you talked about the fact that the price is different,
Yes.
right? So how much does it cost me for the complete thing in Nakuru?
Complete thing is, let's say, roughly 1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's about 200 shillings more. Okay. That's interesting.
So the cook is what is between 800 and 1,500. They're complete cook stove.
Yes.
If I buy it from your shop in Nakuru.
Yes.
If I'm a supplier, I'm a distributor, I come to Kisumu, I can buy the liner, and that's what you're saying, ranging from 400 thereabouts,
Yeah.
coming to the factory in Kisumu. You're doing very well, and congratulations.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And
on
Jonathan,
the end of
very well done.
environment, You talked about environment. You talked about environment, and what normally happens is that from the areas where this soil is coming from, we are doing some programs to plant trees. And we say actually not planting, actually it's growing trees.
Growing trees
Because, planting, you just plant and leave it. But when we talk of growing trees, is where now you continue taking care of that tree. So we have programs that take care of that, so that you move, when you excavate soil, you can move to another area, then you plant trees.
And you grow trees there.
Yeah.
Jonathan, well done. Jonathan Waita is a program manager with Practical Action Kenya. And Josephine Abongo is an entrepreneur. She is selling these improved cook stoves in Nakuru and distributing them around that region, and also manufacturing them from her plant in Kisumu. They've been our guests talking about accelerating access to clean cooking in Kenya.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.